man's revolution. He's another man's terrorism.
Bloody sweet.
Welcome back to our channel,
Cinema Brothers.
Good morning,
Good afternoon, good evening,
and namaskar to all of you. Before we begin, don't forget to
smash the subscribe button
like and share.
and do comment down below.
So today's topic will be about comparing three parallel stories from the Lokesh cinematic universe, or also known as the LCU, which are the movies Kaithi, Vikram, and Leo. So let's get into Kaithi first. So what do you have to say about Kaithi?
What I have to say about Kaithi is that Dilli is a protagonist in the movie. His character is interesting. His character is mysterious. He's too mysterious. He spent 10 years of his life in prison. He worked in a chocolate factory for 3 years, and he has a daughter. He's just a common man. The cops don't know about him. The goons don't know about him. So just imagine how important his role would be.
Yeah, so since we're talking about Kaithi, I would also like to talk about his main supporting character, Bejoy. And so you see in Vikram, Bejoy actually plays a role of the accomplice of Vikram, who rebels against the government. And in Kaithi, he plays the role of an inspector who wants to catch the bad guys with the help of Dilli.
Yeah. So actually going back to Dilli, right? Let's make like a connection between Dilli and his like Zodiac sign, since I think that's the main point of this thing. Throughout all the characters, there's like a Zodiac sign for everybody.
We have talked about this in other videos.
Yeah, we've talked about this in our previous video for Leo, Bloody Sweet, and our reaction to that. And so Dilli, we feel like he represents like the Zodiac sign Taurus, right? Because he's like, you can see in the movie, because like of his actions in the movie, like in the fight scenes, it gets very intense. And you also see like there's a particular scene in Kaithi where you get to see like when he's sitting down to eat like this huge plate, and like he devours everything, right? And then like that shows like how strong he is and how much he can eat, like, and how that's compared to a bull. He's like very strong. And also going to another point later on, we actually see him throughout the whole movie, we see him in handcuffs, right? Like almost throughout the whole movie we see him in handcuffs. And like the main symbol for the Taurus, the bull, is actually like with the chain around the neck, the rope, which actually like it's a very good connection that we could add to this reference, because like the Taurus, the animal of Taurus is the bull, right? The bull is like very their characteristics are very loyal and trustworthy, and they're very precise. You can see throughout the movie that Dilli is very loyal to his to Inspector Bejoy, and like throughout the whole movie he just like he stays by his word, and he kind of
does all this so that he could see his daughter.
Yeah, he could see his daughter, because that's the main thing at the end of the movie, like what he really wants.
So we just have to wait for Kaithi Part 2, because in Kaithi Part 2 they might show his like story, his whole story, how he ended up in jail, and
it might be a prequel, like to show his past life.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to get more into his emotions and his problems, his real problems, like what he feels inside, not just too much of the
reason why he became that specific person.
Yeah, that person. And so
everything before what happened in Kaithi Part 1.
So the next movie in the LCU is Vikram. Came out 2022. The protagonist in Vikram is played by Kamal Hassan. His name is Vikram. He's like this very he's like an agent type of person. He's like a rogue agent type of person, right? And he's like, his Zodiac sign is symbolized his animal is symbolized as an eagle, right?
Yeah.
But an eagle is associated with the Zodiac sign Scorpio. And like the eagle very like it signifies the Scorpio, because it's different from the other animals that associated with Scorpio. The eagle is like very
powerful.
It's very powerful. It highly expresses how it's power for Scorpio, because they can represent like clear vision, intelligence, power, majesty, and freedom. And that really brings out the character of like Vikram, and like the way he goes.
Since we're talking about Vikram, the movie Vikram, I also want to bring back Dilli from Kaithi. See, we actually see him 2 times in the movie.
Yeah.
They refer to him 2 times.
Yeah,
and the
Vikram.
first scene where we get to see him is in a scene where they show Bejoy's flashback, which his flashback is actually a scene from the movie Kaithi, which you guys can go watch right now. They show only his hands with handcuffs on. He's driving a truck, which is basically the main baseline for the story of Kaithi.
Yeah.
And the second scene is during the end of the movie where we get to see Rolex and how and his men talk about Dilli, and then when they show him he's actually in Uttar Pradesh and he's showering, but we don't get to see him. We only get to hear his voice, and he turns out he's actually singing a hymn from Kaithi, which is an actually surprising and exciting cameo.
Yeah. And talking about Vikram, Rolex and Vijay Sethupathi, their animals like Rolex is scorpion and Vijay is snake, and also scorpion and snake is associated with the zodiac sign Scorpio. So that might relate to
and like there's some special traits for the Scorpios, like they're very sometimes very deceiving and like maybe even
savage.
Yeah. And so like that really reflects on Vijay Sethupath's role as Sundaram and the Rolex.
But the fact that the Scorpio is the animals that it's associated with is actually what the LCU represents. For example, if you look up Scorpio, the 3 animals that associate with it are the eagle, the snake, and the scorpion. The scorpion is Rolex, the snake is
Vijay
Sethupathi, and the eagle is Vikram.
Yeah. And so going to the next movie that will soon come out in October is Leo. It hasn't released yet, and we get to see Dalapati Vijay starring as the main protagonist, and we also see Sanjay Dutt as the antagonist. So bringing up the promo, the snake is when like how you get to see the snake. There's like a part where you see cars driving up a road, and you actually see them moving in like a snake movement,
like curved roads, right? And then it's like
you get to see
just like how a snake moves.
But the guys in the cars are actually wearing masks.
Yeah,
and
they're
so when
wearing
you
black
think
masks.
about that, they could you can see the masks are worn by members of Vikram's team. In the movie Vikram,
but it's like a different mask than the one.
The team that rebels against the government, and we get to see that in Vikram at the end of the movie, Rolex is introduced with the line of cars, and so there are
it might be Rolex's.
There are two possibilities that either they're Rolex's men or they're Vikram's men.
Leaning more on Rolex's men because that's how they is portrayed as Leo is the protagonist, and like these guys are coming to get him. That's what the promo is making us think.
Yeah, and the only animal that didn't show in the Leo promo was the scorpion. Like I wonder how it would be like if they did show like a sign or like a scene of the scorpion.
Yeah, going back to the snake, we actually see like a scene from the snake where a snake actually gets trapped in one of, he dies and like in a trap that he sets up, right, representing how in the previous movie in Vikram, right, we get to see Vijay Sethupath's role as Sundaram, and like he represents the snake zodiac sign, like the snake animal actually, and like he actually dies in that movie, right, killed by Vikram, and like that kind of ends his story over there, like also representing how there was a snake, right, and then now that story is done. It's not, they don't advance this Vijay Sethupath's role anymore because he's dead already, and they don't show too much of that.
Yeah, so wait, there might be a chance in Kaithi 2 to see like their flashback of like before
like a prequel.
Vikram and Kaithi as well.
Yeah.
So, and also in the Vikram sequel, there might also be another chance that Rolex and Kaithi might be together in the sequel.
Mm-hmm. And also I want to talk about Leo Zodiac sign now, which is represented by a lion, which is proved to be like the spirit, the spirit of fire, and it also represents how like a royal status, a very high status, meaning like they're very they're theatrical, they're passionate, and they're very they love their work, and like you can see that Vijay, you can see him doing like his blacksmith stuff and his work in the chocolate factory.
Yeah, I actually want to bring a point up, as we were talking about before, where you can see the snake, dying and everything.
Yeah.
I actually want to symbolize this into the LCU. As you can see, the snake is Sundar, played by Vijay Sethupathi, and I just want to say that maybe Leo may be a big boss to everybody else, since okay, I want to put it this way. As we can in the movie Vikram, we can see that he dies, and we can see that in Leo's house, the snake dies in Leo's house, right? And I think the house represents kind of his
domain.
His domain. It's
his world.
Yeah, it's his control.
Yeah.
Whoever controls, and you can see that the snake is just roaming around until it gets caught one day in the trap. And then we can see that Vijay Sethupathi he's running his business under Rolex, and then we might think Rolex is under Leo.
Yeah.
And then we can see that one day he just dies due to a mistake.
Before I forgot to mention that in general, Karthi, who plays Dilli in Kaithi, and Suriya, who plays Rolex, they're actually real brothers in real life.
Yeah.
And it would be more interesting. It would be fascinating to see them together in the movie, how they would interact with each other.
Yeah,
in the movie
whether they would be enemies or close friends,
or they might have a good relationship.
Yeah, how their dialogues would go and that type of stuff. It's very invigorating to see how these even the South Indians are now making these universes where we can make all these connections, and it's very exciting to actually look for these and
to be able to point it out.
Yeah, I think that would be very special. So we know that Leo is the boss, right? But we don't know who the real boss is, and so we have to go to Rolex, who's a Scorpio, who knows who the real boss is, representing the Capricorns. And so we have to make these assumptions, who that is, and going back to Rolex, we really need to find out his more personal side and his emotional side, and make his own original movie, I guess, because that's kind of in demand right now. I think.
And from characters from other movies like Kaithi, Dilli, and Vikram, and maybe even Amar and his team could join in on the fight. So it could be like MCU's Civil War of LCU's Civil War.
Yeah, so just like you said, people are demanding that Rolex have his own movie, and movies like Vikram 2 and Kaithi 2 are still to be made, so it's not endgame yet.
Yeah. So we still who would be the Thanos of the LCU?
Maybe it could be Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he could be the potential Thanos of the Lokesh cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens in Leo and its plot of the story. So we're very excited for that.
Write down who the Thanos of the LCU might be in the comments.
And so overall, guys, this is the end of our review, and this is our review and our opinion and our theories for the Zodiac signs and all our predictions,
and connections of the
LCU movies.
So according to the Zodiac signs, we know that Capricorn has to be the real boss.
Do you think that Sanjay Dutt could be the real Capricorn?
Do you guys think that Sanjay Dutt could be the potential Thanos of the LCU? Then write it down in the comments below.
And your other opinions and suggestions of what you thought of this video and our predictions and connections about the LCU.
And if you guys want to see more of us, then please don't forget to smash the subscribe button.
And we really need your support and love.
Yeah, thank you for all the love, all the subscribers, all the likes.
Like and share.
Like and share. Continue to like and share. Continue to comment and share us feedback. So this is
Cinema Brothers
signing off.